So we've got this situation now where we've got multiple red states that are opening up their economies over the next couple of weeks, really over the next 10 days. Here's Scott Walker on with Neil Cavuto on Fox Business News. I think this was yesterday or the day before, where this is how we're going to reopen the manufacturing sector by abusing the people who work there.
Lights went off. I remember years ago when I was a kid playing sports, if the lights went off at the stadium, you turned them on. It took a while to come back on. That's what the economy is going to be like. There's going to have to be a phase in. I think we start with manufacturing and the trades, those areas where you physically have to be there and where you can spread people out. You can close down break rooms and lunch rooms and keep people at their actual machinery, at their site. You can do other things to make sure people aren't huddled together and keep those offices where there are cubicles and administrative duties going on, keep them at home longer. I remember
it's a cute little anecdote about how he remembers when the lights went off when he was playing sports as a kid. I mean, I don't know what
does that even mean.
That just means like, hey, let me get into your inner circle of trust by letting you know that I'm just an average guy who played sports in the heartland, played baseball in the heartland. Meanwhile, there are these major clusters of COVID-19 in the Midwest that are and places like South Dakota, Smithfield Foods. We just heard from Kowalski in Nebraska that in his hometown, they have a massive cluster that is also from a processing plant. In Iowa, hundreds of National Guard personnel are being activated because Kim Reynolds sent them to the Tyson Foods and National Beef Packing Companies. These are processing plants. Right. Now, I suppose if you locked these and chained the people who are working there to their workstations, maybe in some way they wouldn't congregate in the break room and give each other COVID-19. Or maybe it's just like you don't want masses of people to gather together in confined spaces, period. And the idea that Scott Walker's just like, we could just have them there. They can't take bathroom breaks. They can't take any food breaks. They can't eat. And they can just, we'll chain them there and they can work and we'll see how it works out.
It's interesting that just these scenarios, I mean, I'm sure there may not even be a pattern, but why are they all meat plants? It's like every factory in the Midwest, I'm surely would have this problem, but it seems like there's some sort of, I mean, it's just because we're providing food, but there are other plants that are essential services.
I would imagine these are the biggest plants that are operating at this time because there's still a demand for food in a way that there probably isn't. If I've got a couch making facility or processing plant, or I don't know, if I'm whatever it is I might be manufacturing, I've got to be looking and saying like, I don't know that I'm going to have demand. So I don't know if I'm going to have like shifts working 24/7 because I don't want to build up an inventory here. Right. And
so Wisconsin's like the second largest, or maybe it's the largest paper manufacturer in the country. Harvey K told me that. If he's watching, maybe he can chime in and let us know. I'd be curious to see what's happening over there. If there's still, I don't know if there's a lobbying effort in some way by, I think what I'm trying to figure out is who is lobbying these governments in particular. They're not just right wing, but it's not like Governor Baker who is pushing to reopen business anytime soon in Massachusetts.
Right. Indeed.